I feel bad. Like, okay,
I don't.
Princess Leia's donut hair just looks weird.
I'd kick him out. Padme or Leia.
So Star Wars, some people have always found Star Wars sexy, but this was like mainstream like appeal.
Yeah, so what happened, Ryan? Tell me about what happened.
So you and I, not at the same time, both got a chance to view the burlesque show Empire Strips Back.
Yes, indeed we did.
So this is a
North America wide show, right?
It's huge. I think they were doing Australia too.
Wow.
And some other places. So we'll kind of talk no spoilers first. Give our thoughts on it. So if people want to see it, they can go out and watch it.
Yeah.
And then we'll give like kind of a spoiler, like what we enjoyed, stuff like that. But I had a blast. I thought it was such an amazing experience.
So the venue was part of the experience too. I don't know like what all of the venues are like, but in Toronto it was like a very old school original theater.
Yeah.
So it was cool to kind of see this kind of. This was my first ever burlesque show. It was cool to see this on the big screen, if you will. But I mean, it's a live act. But like in the old theater style with the box office and that concession out front where you used to buy your tickets and everything. I thought that was super cool. And then, it's basically, for anyone who doesn't know what a burlesque show is, it's dancers in costumes dancing to popular songs that go with their skit. And then I guess it can be a parody or not so much of a parody. This one was a parody. So it's like a play on the original 3 Star Wars. It's called The Empire Strips Back, but there's scenes from all of them there, right? So it's a play on the last 3 Star Wars. I got a bunch of great laughs out of it. I thought it was amazing.
It really, I can't keep saying it's an experience. Holly's taken me to a few burlesque shows, so we've kind of seen like some amateur level stuff where people are creating their own costumes and designs and coordinating, and it's well done. This is like a professional show. I don't know how else to describe it here.
Was this the best one you've ever been to?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about it that this is probably something where they sell the rights and the choreography and like the sets and like the big costumes that we'll talk about. Because I don't think it's like set dancers. So I mean, like I think they probably like when they go to Toronto, they get like great dancers. They put the show on great. When they go to Australia, they don't bring those same dancers.
I think they do.
I was looking into they're not all the same from the same tour.
No,
I don't know. I could be wrong.
The MC at the end said something because he was leaving. Like we had different MCs. He was like, "I'm leaving, but like the crew's staying here for the rest of this show, and then whatever he said, meet back in America for the next one."
So it very well could be. Looking at,
I think that'd be crazy if it was like new dancers all the time, and like they had to like learn these skits in a certain time frame.
You know what? It very well could be. When you look online, like a lot of the dancers that they have on like their website aren't the ones that we saw.
Really?
Yeah, but either way, it was fantastic. So it was a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
They touch kind of all genres. There's male dancers, there's female dancers, there's group acts, there's kind of like comedy sketches. My biggest thing, I mean, when it started was the costumes.
Mm-hmm.
So again, no spoilers here, but some of not just what the dancers are wearing, but some of the background dressing, the creatures, they were unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of those aliens and like they make look like they'd be right off of a set.
Yeah,
like the Greedo, and you're like, wow, like that's. Let's talk spoilers. Okay. So sorry if you haven't seen it.
Stay to the end if you want to see those spoilers.
Yeah.
We'll cut.
I highly recommend it if you guys can find tickets in a city near you. Take a look. We'll kind of link them in. We're not affiliated with them in any sense. We're not endorsed. We're not making anything off of this. It's just fans telling you like this is fun Star Wars.
Yeah.
And actually, after the show, waiting to get some merchandise, I was standing behind a gentleman that had a leather jacket on, and he had a bunch of. They were Star Wars patches, but not common things you'd see, very unique pieces. And I started talking to him about it and, the various things. And he was a member of the local 501st.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was kind of neat. Like, and he was an older gentleman, out with like his friends and I think his wife.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, it's everyone's out there.
Yeah.
It was.
How were the people when you went? like the audience.
So there was some funny. I think I'm just cynical when it comes to people some days.
Uh-oh,
you know
let's
what I mean?
hear
Like,
it.
Just, you're not supposed to film at these events because these individuals are dancing for us. They're dancing provocatively. They're stripping their clothes off. There is sometimes some minor nudity. You know what I mean? So people shouldn't be filming. And we had someone, an older gentleman, like just at the beginning of the show while like the credits were rolling, like filming, and like he had to be told not to.
That's crazy. Did they tell you guys not to film before he started filming? Oh my God.
But everyone's special and no one needs to follow the rules.
I don't know, like, man, I'd kick him out.
Even
like straight out, I'd just kick him out. Like, that's so disrespectful.
Even when it started, there's like an opening text crawl that's done. Well, you saw it. Like, that's like the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I joked that like I didn't see a single word there because there was just a dude standing in front of me like with his sausage and a drink, and he was just kind of reading it before sitting down. It's like,
there's nothing worse than when you go to an event, you pay for an event, and somebody in front of you is just standing. You just want to yell at them, like right away. You just want, hey, sit down, like but then you look like the bad person if you do that,
right? Because you're like, let them enjoy it.
Yeah.
Bit of an off topic here. Holly and I went to a Tool concert in Toronto at the ACC, the Air Canada Centre. We were back row, whatever. You're there for the music. We were behind a dude, and I mean one row behind, that the entire show was yelling, "Let's go," and then each of the band members' names. And this dude was so far just wasted.
Oh my God.
For 2.5 hours, whatever it was, he just sat and yelled, "Let's go, Danny, let's go, come on, let's go," while like the band's playing the songs. Man, everyone around him called an usher in. There was ushers trying to stop the guy. He was so wasted. They were trying to stop fights. If you're that person, fuck. Like, I can't, like,
go home, he meant to say.
That's what I meant to say, but no, seriously, when you go to a public event and like you make it about yourself, randomly just be sitting around and be like, "Let's go, Danny," and like, it was such a horrendous experience at the time, but like, yeah, you just gotta laugh at it.
Holy shit, that was funny. All right, spoiler time.
Yeah. Okay, spoiler. The spoiler for Empire Strips Back. So 2-hour show.
Yep. It went by so quick.
Yeah, when the intermission came up, it was on like.
Who knew watching girls get naked would just pass the time really quick, eh?
Right?
Yeah, so now that we're talking about spoilers, you don't really see anything. So if you're going for that, don't, because you'll be let down. But
that's burlesque is not like it's more about the dance. It's more about the.
But for the audience like myself who didn't know what a burlesque show is, I was like, "Are we going to see a boobie?" And then you don't really see a boobie, and then you
see several boobies.
Well, not unmasked.
So
boobies.
That's it. If they're showing you their breasts, they have a mask on.
Yeah.
Or it's like an outline, or it's a background. Like, it's very tastefully done. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, "Hey, here are my boobs." It's like, I'm going to dance to a song, and these were professional dancers. These were not
amazing.
These were not like women and men that like took this up on a Sunday. Like, I'm going to try dancing. Like, no, they've been doing this their whole lives.
Yeah.
There was an MC, so we both had the same character, but he was a different person.
Yes.
It's Lando's
nephew.
Oh, his nephew for
something like that.
Brother, yeah. Really well done. Costume looked great.
Yeah.
Funny. Did a great job.
He made the show amazing for me.
It's a good MC makes a big difference.
Yeah. Eric, if you're watching this,
George, for me,
A+, my guy. A+.
Maybe it's the same guy. No, it's not.
He was like, "I'm just so excited to go home and cuddle with my cat. I so hope he looks up on YouTube, Empire Strips Back, and he's watching this. And, oh, man, that'd be great."
How well the job. It was a great experience. So our MC was really good. Got the crowd into it. So the dancers. So the first one is it's Luke
on Hoth.
Yeah, so it's the start of Empire Strikes Back. It's
Yep.
Luke on Hoth with a tauntaun. I'm sorry, I knew there was a girl dancing. You could ask me like what color her hair was. I don't remember because the entire time I could not stop looking at this tauntaun. No, I was looking at the boobs too. But the tauntaun, like the costume was unbelievable.
Yes,
it was massive,
amazing.
I know it's a single person, but it's a massive person controlled tauntaun.
And she came in riding on the tauntaun,
which is crazy.
fully I didn't know if it was a dude or a girl at first, because
Yes,
it's just like clothed right up, and it's Luke. And then as the clothes come off, you're like, oh, that's a girl. And then like the hair came out. And,
yes, yeah.
woo, buddy! That was a good one. That was definitely one of my favorites.
And there's comedy in burlesque. It's not just the.
She was stripping for the tauntaun.
She was stripping,
and then the tauntaun was like, whoa!
Yeah, and then she gave it a heart attack, and then cut it open.
Inside.
Yeah, to crawl inside.
Yeah,
and like even like she's taking props. So it's this walking tauntaun. It goes down. She cuts it open and is like pulling out props, like the intestines and stuff. And it's like, that's so cool. So then MC comes on in between, and then the next dance was Luke on Tatooine, and I think this one was my favorite.
I agree. This one was also my favorite.
2 Nicki Minaj starships. I think the dancer was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it was Luke. So the premise was like it's a female Luke, but it's like their wild side. So she's scrubbing her land speeder. Yeah. And like washing.
She's feeling herself while she's cleaning the land speeder. You get those iconic hair whips with the water.
She was using water. The land speeder prop. Like it wasn't a full size one. It was probably like a 3/4, but like it was on a base, so it looked like it was floating. And she's up there like dancing and rocking on it. I was like, oh man, that thing's gonna give out.
Ryan's about to tell us again he didn't see the girl, he just saw the prop.
No, that one I did. That one I did. That one I very much paid attention.
Yeah, that one was probably one of my favorites too. Very well done. What was after that one?
I think it was Princess Leia and R2.
Yeah. Oh, that was another really good one.
Yep.
That was another really good one. R2
controversial Star Wars topic or opinion or take. Controversial take. Princess Leia's donut hair just looks weird.
I mean,
when she's stripping and she's got
but then did you see her take it out?
Yes.
And you're like, whoa.
She takes her actual hair out of like the things and toss them aside. Like it's just not Leia's best look.
Okay, but it's like the prep, like it's like you gotta.
I get that, but no, it's just. I'm just saying in general.
It's her letting loose.
As a Star Wars fan, that everyone's like, I love Princess Leia, or like, that was my first crush. Like, the first hair is weird.
All right, I'll give you that one. It's not her best one.
So,
hold up. While we're on the topic of this, Padme or Leia?
That's a whole video.
Padme or Leia?
We're gonna go off course here for a bit. Okay, based off of what?
Physical attraction.
Oh, you're just saying like who's the more attractive?
Yeah, because that's the topic we're on. We're on the Empire Strips Back.
But are you saying like the actress Natalie Portman versus the actor?
No. Padme or Leia?
Okay, so you're saying a character.
Yes.
Not their actor or actress portraying them.
Correct.
The character and like what they do?
No, how they look. So it's definitely a big part of the actor or actress. Padme, episode 2. Leia, episode 6.
Padme has... Oh, gee, what? Okay, the best Padme is probably episode 2.
100%.
Okay.
End of the Geonosian Arena. Or when she's in that room with Anakin. With
all of them. The black dress, the beach, all of them. That one's probably the best. The best Leia one. Oh, this is
do it.
This is a hot take. Empire.
What?
I think she looks the best.
I remember you telling me this, and I was like, "What?"
I don't need to see like cleavage or like.
Bro, like that's when she looks the most like covered.
But again, it's not about seeing. It's like. That's when she has like her real personality and she really gets into it. Yeah, Return of the Jedi is good and stuff, and like everyone's like slave Leia, but like whatever. And you know what I mean? And like the Andor dress at the end is kind of, her hair is weird, and like how do the Ewoks have a dress that fits Leia perfectly? And how do the
Ewoks Padme or Leia?
Luke's mom, not his sister. What are you calling?
Definitely Padme. Not even a question about it.
Oh, how about this one? Let's make it tough for you. Rey or anyone?
Jar Jar.
Yeah, You're not a Rey fan. Did you hear the news that like Daisy Ridley is really discouraged over like all the negative like stuff surrounding this new movie and trilogy?
I bet.
I feel bad. Like, okay,
I don't.
Everyone got upset because the director said something and people took that out of context. It was like a 6-year-old clip about a different movie she made. And like, it's weird that everyone got so upset. So it's like Daisy Ridley is just trying to focus on like, I want to come back to Star Wars. I want to do my best. And immediately the movie's announced, and immediately before it even gets off the ground, there's all this controversy regarding
it's the premise. It's the premise, okay? It's not the fact that it was 6 years ago. It was, okay, just put it in a different connotation. So, like, if someone said, I'm going to hurt somebody, and then 6 years later, they get in charge of a massive, big project, you wouldn't be like, that's weird. Or, like, even go a step further. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I get that. In context of what she was saying in the interview, it was about her filmmaking style, and, like, it wasn't, like...
So the point still stands.
But it wasn't meant that, like, she physically meant...
They can Cara Dune for talking about her feelings about COVID.
But that's different, because, like, Disney... She worked for Disney. Disney said, stop it. And she said, whatever, and Disney fired her.
Yeah, but...
This is, like... Okay, this... You know what?
In my opinion, this is more controversial.
This is like the James Gunn thing, where everyone got up in arms because, like, tweets that he made years ago. Disney fired him. So he went on to DC, and then Disney's like, well, we'll come back and do, like, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is the only good Marvel movie that's been released, you know.
I haven't seen that one.
The best Marvel thing in years. And, like, now he's on DC. And it was like, well, you fired him for something that, like...
What'd they fire him for?
He made 2 or 3 tweets. I don't want to say them on here, but they're just...
Yeah.
Like, they were just bad jokes. Like, really, like, bad humor. But they were old. And it's like, man, if I think back to the person that I was 8-10 years ago, like, that's cringy. Like, there's a lot of, like, oh my God.
Oh, definitely. And everybody has that. But, like, also when you're at a position of power, then you gotta check yourself before you speak a lot more than the people like us. Like, who knows, dude? In 10 years, if we blow up, we could regret what we're saying right now on this.
You could get a ton of hate for this
100%.
director thing.
But I don't care. I'm also being true and standing by my opinion.
That's fair. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. You know?
I think there's tons of other people out there that are way more suited than this lady, especially after the comment she made.
I think maybe I'll say that I think maybe there was better people for the role. So on the last video, I had said people like Greta Gerwig, and someone said to me like, well, she's never directed a action movie. Why would you? And I was like, but maybe like that could be like a fun take. Like she takes Star Wars in a different direction. But then I also said Patty Jenkins. We both said that. We're like, she knows how to do action.
Yeah,
it's a strong female director.
Or like Bryce Dallas Howard.
Great.
She's massive Star Wars fan. She's been a big part of episodes. Star Wars since Disney took over, and like
that's a great point. Actually, why not?
Why not Bryce Dallas Howard?
She's proven
I think she's awesome, and the stuff that she's done for The Mandalorian was awesome.
Yeah, like there's some good episodes,
and she's a true fan. I think that's anybody that should be working on Star Wars should be a fan.
Okay, so this is a great thing that I want to talk about: fandom. Maybe we're kind of off topic here.
That's okay.
Fandoms are a very tough thing because sometimes if you are just focused on fan service, so the cameos, the nostalgia, those little bits, there's no sustenance behind like what you're doing. You're doing it for the fans, and the fans are fickle. You know, they change their mind. They want things to be nostalgic the way they were. They're not open to new things. So it's tough. You need someone, I think, not just a fan, but someone who appreciates it. So you can have someone who's like, I've never seen Star Wars. But you're directing a Star Wars movie. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go and watch the movies. I'm going to go and like understand the lore. Like, I'm not going to watch the 14,000 hours of television. You know what I mean? And like all that stuff. I'm going to watch how these directors did it. George Lucas.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. If you want to make Star Wars content, you need to understand Star Wars.
But what is it about Star Wars that needs to be understood? Like,
everything. The way Anakin feels, the way Palpatine feels, the way Obi-Wan feels, all their feelings, the way that the story flows. Legit, every little piece of Star Wars knowledge that we've gained over 25 years or whatever, these people need to understand and know because they're the ones that are going to be creating this story, and they have to have the same impact on the characters they create or the characters we know and love to continue on their story.
So you're saying like it all needs to make sense in the universe.
Like Sam Witwer, bro. If that man became a director, that would be the best Star Wars content ever because he understands Star Wars on another level that like these other people don't. Dave Filoni, he understands Star Wars.
But I'm saying as someone as a director, so yeah, I agree with Sam. Like I think Sam Witwer is great, but like would he be a great director? Not necessarily, but would he be a great like producer? I don't know what the proper term is, but someone that keeps track of the factual story. You know what I mean? Like a script supervisor, something like that. But like I want to see Star Wars directed by different people. I want to see. I don't necessarily want to see the same movie over and over again. Like I want to see different takes on it. I want to see,
and sure, but like at a time right now where Star Wars is, I feel like been one step from falling off the edge for a couple years now. They need to do something that works. You need to pull your money and stuff together. Get Sam Witwer in here. Get all these good people in here. Make the best Star Wars project we've ever seen, and then go experiment with your Kmart directors.
What's the best project? I had read an article where I always get his name wrong. My God, Obi-Wan. Ian McGregor was talking about after doing Phantom Menace and it panned and like it wasn't successful. Like that, like I have to do 2 more movies. Like this sucks. Like this is terrible. Like people do not like them. People don't. And I think he had given up on some other roles in Hollywood that he felt like maybe would have taken him in a better direction. So you're gonna think after Phantom Menace, and then these guys have to do Attack of the Clones, and that gets panned. And then everyone's like, well, you know, what do we do with this third one? And then Revenge of the Sith comes out, and it's like, okay, this makes up for everything. This
at the time, it didn't, though.
For most people, received.
For our generation, not for the older generation. The prequels got the same hate that the sequels get now. We are just the We are just the original people for the sequels, and then it scares me because in 20 years, people are going to be like, "Oh, the sequels are the best movies ever." Because that's the next generation.
Those are the fans. So I'm saying that's why you can't have fans do this. You need people with new visions that like go within the universe. So like I don't know. I want to see directors doing cool things. We will make you watch it. All the fans out there, we will make Colin watch it. Andor is like without using hyperbole, it is some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen. Because it's not just about a dude and his relationship with his dysfunctional son and daughter and a super death weapon and this mystical energy and space wizard. It's just about like people in this world. And it's amazing.
So yeah, but that's not what I want. That's not what I want out of Star Wars. If I wanted a show about some dude, I'm going to go watch Prison Break or Stranger Things. Like I'm going to go watch any show that's not, to me, a disgrace of how Disney spent the money. You're going to spend that much money on a show that nobody cares about when it came out, which we've already agreed on. Nobody wanted to see Andor. It was one of those things where it came out and then a bunch of people loved it. But nobody wanted Andor. When we had stuff like Ahsoka and Kenobi and Rogue Squadron and all these other shows lined up, nobody wanted Andor. But they spent the biggest budget on Andor, and apparently it turned out great. Instead of putting the biggest budget on the shows that you need to put the biggest budget on, like Kenobi, like Ahsoka, like these key element shows with these massive characters that everybody cares about, but instead, you're going to take all the money from these shows, put it into a show that absolutely nobody wanted, nobody asked for.
But it worked.
Sure, it worked, but it shouldn't have worked. It was like
the problem with that wasn't that, it was that we shouldn't be making shows, or they shouldn't be making shows.
Well, apparently they should, because Andor is the best Star Wars content ever, right?
It was the best TV series. But hey, let's be super honest. Let's break down how many TV series are there.
A bunch.
So 3 seasons of Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Kenobi, Ahsoka,
Clone
Andor, live action.
Oh.
Is that it?
Maybe.
Anything? I know Skeleton Crew is coming out. How many of those have been good? Mando season 1 was good. Season 2 was good. Season 3 was like diminishing returns. It was okay.
No.
Boba Fett was super disappointing.
No.
Kenobi was super disappointing.
No.
Ahsoka was disappointing.
It was okay.
Right? You're just getting mediocre content.
This is what I'm saying, though.
Because there's all this hype and just they can't live up to it.
Because they put it all into Andor.
It's not because they put it all into Andor.
$250 million went into Andor when $55 million went into Kenobi. You can't tell me they didn't put it all into Andor. Those numbers should have been reversed. I'm going
to look into the budget of that. Andor just feels like a better television show.
Because it had a $250 million budget.
It was a better story. Okay, so the writer of Andor, this is not going to win you over. The writer of Andor, I believe it was Tony Gilroy. He took over some of the shoots for Rogue One. I believe he has said that he is not a Star Wars fan.
Like, that just makes me so mad.
That's amazing. Because he makes the best content. Because he's like, I understand your universe. I get all that. I will work within the confines, but here's my story.
I'm going to put on YouTube.
It's a galaxy of billions of people.
I'm going to put on the community tab in YouTube, is Andor a good show? And we're going to see what the poll comes back as.
You know what? We should.
I
will read everyone's comments and reviews. I honestly, of all the television, Mando gave me great hope, but Andor was like, this is good television. I cannot wait to watch the next episode. I'm invested in these characters. God. Who are background characters. It makes everything so much more full and like.
And so this is the other thing. I'm glad you like it. Because they took all the money away from the shows that they should have spent it on and put it into crap Andor.
I can't believe that. Then there's an oversight there.
I haven't looked at what the budget for Ahsoka is, but how much you want to bet is right around what Kenobi was.
But why?
Bro, you're not asking me. All of the money would have went into the Kenobi show.
Why would it have gone to Andor? Like, why would they be like, okay, let's give this show the money?
I have no idea. Well, hasn't Disney, everything that Disney's done has been wrong since they took over? Or it sure seems like that. Are you
saying everything is wrong?
99% of it, yeah.
I like Rogue One. I liked Andor.
I didn't like Rogue One. I didn't like Andor. I know a lot of people liked Rogue One. I didn't love it.
I like Rogue One.
Yeah. It's boring. It's not Star Wars. I need or at least it's not Star Wars for me.
So if you're talking Star Wars for you, that's what The Force Awakens is. The Force Awakens is Star Wars for the fans. It is just
not for me.
It's a retread of the same story.
Yeah, but that's not what I want.
Making us happy. Okay, be honest. When you watched Force Awakens, that first time you saw it, coming out of the theater, were you not happy? Were you not like, this is like Star Wars is back?
No.
Really?
You want to know why? The big part that like destroyed it for me was when Finn picked up the lightsaber and went toe to toe with Kylo Ren, and then he like split the planet with the Force or whatever.
I thought that was just it blowing up from Poe's.
Maybe it was. I don't know. That whole fight scene was absolute. I've seen it like 3 times, so it was so terrible. I don't remember it that well. But I remember when Finn fought him, I was like, okay, well, Kylo Ren's absolute trash. Han Solo felt very forced.
Oh man, Kylo Ren had taken a blaster shot to the ribs and he was like exposed and bleeding. Like that was like the big thing.
Okay, and Vader's literally a nugget who got burnt to a crisp working the remaining Jedi. Palpatine's a 150-year-old sizzled up man. Dooku's like 85. You know, like, what do you mean? That's what Sith do, bro. Darth Maul got cut in half. Kylo Ren's like, I take a little shot to Chewbacca's.
He took Chewbacca's
bowcaster
right to the like.
Sure, I wish he got shot in the head and just died right there. That was terrible. That fight was terrible. That movie was literally just New Hope with a younger, more diverse cast.
It was just New Hope. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but I'm not done. But then they just messed everything up. You didn't see friggin' stormtroopers going toe to toe with Vader at the end of New Hope, did you? And then, how does that movie end? We go to Luke on the cliff.
So they go back to the Resistance base. Members,
but it ends with Luke on the cliff, right? Yeah. So then we go and we see Luke on the cliff. You're like, oh my god, maybe there's hope. Right? Maybe.
Like a New Hope?
Maybe. And then we get the next movie and he's like, yay!
But you didn't
and
have
his
that
saber's gone.
Come on, when you saw Luke on the big screen, when you saw Luke Skywalker, the Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker on the big screen, first time in years, did you not get a little like...
I felt 5% of what I felt in Mandalorian.
Are you dead inside?
5% of what I felt in Mandalorian.
Well, but his entrance in Mandalorian is a whole...
I also fell asleep in the theater during Last Jedi. So that's got to say something right there.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was just a giant waste of time and money. And I feel so bad for the cast because they're just going to get dookied on for the next 20 years because of it. And it was trash.
Then they'll become the most popular thing in the world.
Yeah, and good for them.
Just like Ahmed Best and Jar Jar, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Now he's in Star Wars. He's a Jedi himself.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. That's fine.
That's what I mean.
But like, why didn't we just go with what we already had? That's the part I think that made me so salty. Was, okay, we've got, what at this point, it was bought in like 2012, came out in the late 70s. So we've got like 30, 40 years of content now. Books, comics, everything we've created. People love these stories. Love these stories. Video games, we've got characters, amazing.
But, okay, we've talked about this.
Boom! Gone! Take this crap that we threw out on the table with no planning and a bunch of money because we're Disney.
It doesn't mean that, like, just because someone says it's canon doesn't mean it has no value anymore. I think that's an episode we should do talking about, like,
sure, it has no value when you put hundreds of millions of dollars into 3 movies that aren't anything about.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying. Like, so for you, Disney says the sequels are canon, and Heir to the Empire, the original one, or like, the New Jedi, that's Legends.
Mm-hmm.
What's keeping you as a fan from just being like, well, no, actually, that's my universe. That's the one I.
So that's what I do. But the big part that bugs me is I'll never see a movie on that. I'll never see a TV show on some of these the best. No, because for me that's content. I don't like books. I can't pull the same feeling out of a book that I could a good TV show or movie.
Okay, but how about in this aspect? What about a game? What about
even the same? I can't pull the same feeling out of a game that I do a movie.
Is there no Star Wars? Is there not a character from a Star Wars game that you really enjoy that speaks to you that like?
There's tons
you want to see on like the live screen.
Yeah, I'd love to see Starkiller on the live screen.
But okay,
love to see Kyle Katarn and Jaden on the lives on the.
But why would we need to see? Okay, let's say Starkiller. Why would you need to see him on the big screen? Because if you saw him on the big screen, his power has to be nerfed. Because he's way too powerful in the universe.
100%.
And if you show him being that powerful in canon, then it makes everyone else seem obsolete. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like,
but then you just kill him.
How? How if he's this god? And it makes Vader seem like, to me, the forcefully sure, like that could be the alternate starting for the rebels, because isn't like his symbol, his family crescent, like the rebel?
I don't know. We should just do like alternate timelines then. If you want to give the whole sequel trilogy love, give the sequel trilogy love, but then have your branch off timelines. Give me my what if stories in Star Wars because you've taken everything away from us.
There's some good what if comics out there.
I want Thrawn, original Thrawn.
Okay, but we just got Thrawn, and how bad is it?
No, I want original Thrawn. I don't want Disney Thrawn. I don't want what Rebels did to Thrawn. I want OG Timothy Zahn come in, write the story, Thrawn. Real Thrawn, ruthless Thrawn.
Timothy Zahn has wrote Legends and canon Thrawn books.
Yeah, I know, but Disney nerfed him. Even in the books, he's still 10 times what he is in the shows, like the canon books. But even in the canon books, he's not what he was in the Legends books.
But like, I don't know. I feel like he's not going to be done justice.
But he could if we had the It takes a super genius to write a genius, and clearly they don't have geniuses in there writing Thrawn.
So we went a little off topic there.
I just want to say, I think it's total BS that Andor has a $250 million budget and Kenobi has a $90 million budget.
During break, we were arguing. There is more Andor than there is Kenobi.
31 or 32 million in an hour of content for Andor. 22 million for Kenobi.
10 million. I mean, I guess, like, is it that much noticeable?
It's a third.
But like, what can you I don't know. You've got the.
That's a third for a character nobody cares about.
I think it's the best shit I've seen in a while.
Yeah, but it's Kenobi should have been. You can't disagree there.
Should have been a movie.
Kenobi being your favorite character and all.
Should have been a movie. So, Star Wars burlesque. Boobs. Star boobs. Boob wars.
So, yeah, we had...
you have to cut all that.
We had
who else did we have there? We had
the Leia.
Leia. We had a C-3PO that made me question how I see C-3PO now.
Yeah,
that was really good.
I think the Palpatine was the most questionable.
We'll get that's a jarring one. That is a there was a Han Solo to Smooth Criminal. That was really good.
You just avoid the Palpatine.
Okay, let's do it. So there's like 4 Imperial officers on stage.
Yep.
And it's Bonnie Ray Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Every now and then.
And so when she says turn around, it's the Emperor turning around these women dressed as Imperial officers. It's quite funny. And then the Emperor turns around and you see the face, and it's like a really good prosthetic. They eventually take their cloak off to reveal, like slowly over the course of a song, that they are wearing a full body prosthetic of the Emperor, and they remove the entire cloak, and he has like a 14-inch skinny, really strange looking erect cock, and he's got his balls are like dangling almost as like to his knees or something, but they weren't like dangling, they were like firm, like it was like, so it wasn't
they're like on a stick.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like the prop wasn't like shaking or whatever, it was just a firm dick and balls. And there's the Emperor completely naked, dick and balls, and they start playing Wrecking Ball. Yep. And he gets onto a massive Death Star, swinging to Wrecking Ball, still dancing. It's
was that your favorite? Is that your favorite?
I don't think I've ever laughed so hard. Like, just
it was funny. As disturbing as it was funny. After that, I made the top 10 crazy Palpatine facts. You should definitely check out that video. Link in description. But that was a hard video to make right after I watched that show. I'll tell you that right now. That was it's like Palpatine's truly evil, and all I can think is him sitting on top of the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, with a massive dick swinging. We always know he had big dick energy, and now it's
something.
That one was really good. I think the one that impressed me the most was the Jabba the Hutt.
Really?
Just because like I didn't expect to see a full life-size
He's big
Jabba the Hutt that was dancing. Like, well, the arms are swaying.
Yeah.
And like the mouth is going, and it's going to Notorious B.I.G.
That was good. The song choice was really good. It
was great. Even the background dancers in that, like there was Greedo and there was other like
Jawas and stuff. Yeah. The Jawas in the 3PO dance were great.
Yeah.
She's like turning on the pedestal and they're like ripping the armor off of her as she gets more naked. Great.
You know what we can do too is we can link, if we can, the Spotify. There's a playlist for Empire Strikes Back. So
nice.
People can listen to the music.
Nice.
From the show. There's another Chewie and Han where they kind of do like some like they do like 10-20 second snippets of like popular songs, and they try and get like the audience up. It's funny, I thought that was the weakest one. I thought the first Han Solo dance, the Smooth Criminal, was really good. The second one with Chewie like doing all those like popular songs, like just didn't do it for me. And then he like tries getting the audience going, and it's not a bad thing, but like I don't know, like that's not the show. Like I wasn't there to watch a concert. I was there to.
We're not there to jump and fist pump with you.
Yeah. So that one was tough. There was a Mandalorian.
My biggest letdown was the Twi'leks.
Got 2 Twi'lek dancers.
Got so excited for that, and then their headpiece just wasn't up to par, and the dance was not as fast paced as I wanted it. It was very dark. Instead of using body paint, they just cast like lights on them with very, very low lighting in general, you know, so it looked green, but
and blue. Well, it was tough because they had to wear other costumes too.
Yeah.
Twi'lek headpieces and like Togruta, like those are really tough to do in live action. Like I mean,
it?
I think that was a big.
Give me $100,000. I'll make one, and it's gonna look damn good.
You would think that they would have something out there, but like Rosario Dawson looked totally restricted as like Ahsoka fighting.
I know, and I don't understand it because it's like, is it really that hard? We have rocket scientists. Is it really that hard to make a flesh-like headpiece? Like, no, it's not. Like you know what I mean? Like
some studios out there, like effects studios that have probably created some realistic.
Bro, I've seen stuff at cons and stuff, like, you know, those guys that do those like latex masks and stuff, they look amazing. I've seen some crazy Star Wars ones there where like Rhodians and stuff. You hire one of those guys for $5,000, they'll do a better one than Disney did. No problem.
I think that was like another disappointing thing about Book of Boba Fett. Like even that Twi'lek, like just in the Twi'leks there, like they don't seem.
I think one thing that was super off about that Twi'lek was that her skin tone was too like regular, fleshy. So like it didn't, like it just almost looked weird because it was like a human with no hair and like a headpiece, and it was weird.
So the Twi'lek dance for Empire, it wasn't like the dancing wasn't bad. Again, the dancers were all fantastic in all the dances. It's just like, you know, are you really into everything they're doing?
Like, you're gonna sit here and tell me they can't make Lekus, but they made that Jabba costume,
right?
Like that's where I'm like, whatever. Right? Come on, like that's the part that
the level of production in this is serious. This is
Lekus were like erect. They were like hard, man. They were like straight out, just pointed. There was no move to them at all.
Like pool noodles covered in like some sort of material.
Yeah,
it was strange.
Yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say?
So that was a Twi'lek dance. I'm trying to think of the other ones there. There was
Boba Fett.
The Boba Fett dance. It was okay.
Mm-hmm. Vader. The Imperial officers.
It was it was 6 stormtroopers.
Yep.
They did a dance, and their dance is really, really good. And then Vader comes out.
Yeah.
And then Vader strips down. And I don't know, to see a Darth Vader like mask and like a bodysuit and then like nipples with pasties, that was strange.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's like the helmet. There was the 3 Red Imperial Guard dance.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one I like couldn't take my eyes off.
Yeah.
It was like perfection.
I find that the ones that had multiple people on stage were really well done.
Definitely.
Like, choreography was really well done. Like they were really in sync. It was like visually entertaining to watch. So I think the Imperial Guards, they're completely naked except for the robes, and then they were just moving them in like ways to be like, here's my thighs, here's my it was really cool. And then at the very end, like the big reveal was that they just took them off, and like you just saw boobs, but they had the Imperial Guard like masks on. Again, like the masks and stuff like all look super good. The Boba Fett one I could tell was like some sort of like after project.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a black, Hasbro or a black, like it wasn't one of those. Then there's the big ensemble at the end.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
Where everybody comes out and
the MC comes out rapping. So yeah, about a 2-hour show.
How old was your MC, would you say?
30s.
Okay.
20s, 30s.
Man, I wish you had Eric. Eric was so good.
Our guy was this was really good.
Like Eric was so good. Hats off to Eric.
What was he? The one question he asked in the audience was like, "What's the worst Star Wars thing you'd want to hear while you're having sex with someone?" And I think someone's like, "It's a trap." And I was like, "No, I'm your father."
Yeah,
that's the absolute worst. And then he said that he's like, "I think that one is." I was like, "Of course it is." Like,
yeah, man, there's some rough ones there. I hate you.
Yeah. Okay. What are the worst things? The worst Star Wars.
Leave that in the comments. That's going to be good. That'll be really good. If you're still here, leave that in the comments. I bet you the viewers have some pretty good ones. Yeah.
God.
What is the most iconic Star Wars line that you would not want to hear during sexual intercourse?
It's a trap.
Yeah. I am your father. I hate you. You were like a brother to me.
Oh man. That's no moon. God, yeah, there's gonna be some good ones out there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the fans come up with.
Yeah, so guys, the worst thing to hear someone say to you in the bedroom from an iconic Star Wars line.
Yeah.
Got that as a short. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really entertaining show. So I highly recommend if people have the chance, Empire Strikes Back, we're going to link it again. Find a show, support these people. They're great at what they do. It's just a fun experience.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
And then check out some of our other videos. We've got lots of podcasts coming out. We've got some already posted, so check out that playlist. Hit that subscribe button.
we enjoy communicating with fans. Getting a chance to walk the cons and like interview people is fantastic. Getting to meet some of our like actual people that watch the channel is great. We want to hear more from you guys. So yes, we've asked you a great question here. What is the worst Star Wars line you could hear? Someone say to you in the bedroom. But we want to hear any of your thoughts or opinions, or how you felt, about Star Wars burlesque or anything we talked about here. And we want to thank you too. I mean, we wouldn't be anywhere without the fans. So thank you guys for tuning in to all our videos and leaving a like and subscribing.
May the force be with you.